Friends playing card, and I'm so excited to be here today. I hope everybody had a great Friday and that the start to your weekend is amazing. So it is time to finish this one up, and I'm working with Photoshop right now, and I'm working on doing the flats and just carrying on with the creation of this piece. So let me get to my channel. Okay, so now I'm ready to carry on. So I'm working in Photoshop, and then on the side I can see what you guys are saying. So I can actually still see the chat bar, which works out perfectly. Yesterday I worked on finishing up the line art and putting in the flats. So the flats are the flat colors. I'll turn off the inks layer so you can see. These are on a separate layer. I am not very good with flats. I usually send this part off to be done by someone else. And what it is you're just putting in basic colors, and all the lines are supposed to meet like that, but they don't. Granted, it's covered by the line art, but still you are supposed to, technically, when doing a proper job, have all the flat lines meeting each other so that there's no white spacing in between. That said, I didn't do a very great job on it, but I know what I need, and it wasn't really worth me sending off to get professionally flatted when it's just A, the turnaround is pretty fast that I need, and B, it's one character and it's not very big. When I'm doing a full cover with tons of characters and all kinds of detail, it helps to have someone else do it. These guys are really good at it and they're really fast. For me, it's like fully coloring and it takes a long time. I don't exactly know the technique that is used for flatting, but there must be a faster way than what I'm doing, that's for sure. So what I'm doing now is I'm finishing out the line art and doing the flatting colors. Now underneath is my sketch layer. So as you can see, I haven't inked her hair yet. The reason why I haven't inked her hair is because I'm still trying to decide if I want to or not. I'm not sure that I actually want her hair in line. I think I might just want her hair painted. And I'm gonna color hold all these lines. So once I've fully decided what I'm doing as far as the colors and I get the scheme down, then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna color hold, and I'll explain to you guys why I do it and how it's done and all of that fun stuff. But for now, I'm working on fixing up little things I see in the line art I want adjusted, and I'm working on the flats. So I realized that his hat, this little pirate dude, is not in the right spot. Whoops. Hello, Symbiote! Happy Saturday! Hello, Bruce! I hope you guys have had a great start to your weekend. I definitely have. It's just been a really nice, chill morning with my family. My youngest son was invited to a birthday party, a Harry Potter themed birthday party. So he's off with my husband, who has driven him there. And I have a couple hours now to do some of the color work, since today is my deadline for this particular project. So come hell or high water, I need to be done. The thing is I think for this one, and it's from perusing the other cards that are being made for this particular project, they're a little bit more cut style in color. They're not like hyper shaded, super glowy or anything like that. It's a little bit more, I don't know, cut style is the best way that I can use to describe it. A little bit more harsher transitions from highlight to shadow. And I think that for a project like that where the card is not very big, I mean, I imagine it's about the size of a playing card, more or less. I don't know. All right, so don't quote me on that. I'm sure a lot more will be revealed when the Kickstarter launches. But in my opinion, it'll look better shrunken down that small if it's not extremely shaded and all that kind of stuff. So I'm planning on doing a little bit more higher contrast shade style for this. Zombie Folly, Fishing Iron, hi everybody. I hope that everything is going well. I'm pretty close with my description. Okay, good. Yay. So yeah, from what I've observed by the other pieces that have been handed in before mine, the color style is a little different than what I normally do, but it's great. Then I get to test something new out and try a slightly different style, which for everybody, you might be like, well, this looks just the same as everything else. And, you know, then it's me being too deep in art to be able to explain the exact differences. But I'm going to try something a little bit different. Fingers crossed if I can pull it off. Hey, Zombie Folly. Okay, I said hi to you. And hello, Craig. It's a Saturday stream. I know. I had every intention of going live yesterday. Sometimes Friday Facebook Lives work, sometimes they don't. Yesterday it didn't work out for me to make it. And I kept going later and later, like, okay, well, I can't make it right now, but maybe I'll go ahead and stream later on tonight. But I get up at 5:15 in the morning, and I'm not exactly the best at going to bed on time. So I'm rocking about 5 or 6 hours of sleep, which is fine. But by around 8, I start fading, and I didn't want to be on the stream with you guys just yawning and, you know, being ready to pass out. So I decided to stream today instead so that I'm not half asleep. Hello, Ashley. How are you, love? Boy, the heat kicked in the house and it's just getting really warm. I need the heater to realize the house is warm enough. So right now I'm on the flats layer and I'm using the pencil tool. And the pencil tool does not have soft edges. So I'm not going to be dealing with, you know, anti-aliasing and smooshy stuff for my flats line, because you want the flats to be a very clean line. If you look up close, you can see my line art layer. So I'm going to turn it off and on so you can see. It's got all this little dotty stuff so that it looks really smooth. The pencil flat line layer that I'm using the pencil tool for is very pixelated. And that is so that the lines and there's no gradient from brown to white. It just goes brown to white. Whereas with the line art layer, you can see there's all this gray in there. That is something you don't want for a flats layer because you need a clean, hard selection. Yeah, it's digital art this time, Ashley. That's right. And right now I'm explaining about flatting. And what flatting is a, for all intents and purposes, a pre-selection layer. Meaning that if I want to color the boot, I can take the magic wand tool and I can select all the brown for the boot, and it happens in one shot and it's really easy to select. If you have all of your colors on if I were to take this flat layer, for instance, and start shading it, what happens then is it's very confusing and difficult for the magic wand tool to grab the one thing you're trying to color. It's going to start getting all screwed up with all the different shading levels, and like you have to keep messing with the tolerance, and it's just much better to have a flat layer. And this is pretty comic art standard. Now there are some people who do full digital paints and they don't need that, or whatever the case may be. But for the average comic book cover, it is sent off to someone. There are people who are essentially professional flatters, and they prepare your piece for you. Now, you could get some very interesting color schemes when you send it off, because the point isn't for them to pre-choose the colors for you or to choose anything. You could get something where the skin is hot pink or bright green or whatever. It can be as random as they want because it doesn't matter. As the colorist, then you come in, you can make a whole, you can copy that layer and start over, but you've got the pre-selections in. That's the only purpose of a flats layer. Now, the reason why I am going in and kind of setting a color scheme is because, well, I'm about to color it and I know kind of what I want. So I might as well hit two birds with one stone. Oh, that's cool, Bruce. You did that on a vector. That's interesting. I wonder if that's what they do for, you know, the professional flatters. I should really ask them sometime, how do you flat when you're given a flatting job? Because right now I'm kind of handling it the way that I would just color it. I'm just kind of just scribbling around and trying to stay within the lines for the most part. But if you take a look at this, look, there's all this white shit all over the place. That, for when you get a piece from a professional flatter, every single color line meets. So look at this right here. The way I've got it from in the stripy part of her pants, that's how the whole piece looks. You turn off that layer, there's none of this white gunk all over the place that I'm leaving. So I'm sure I'm doing it wrong. But for the sake of speed and just getting it done, I'm flatting it myself. Less than professional, but fine. But sometime I should probably get a little tutorial from these guys on how exactly they flat. And for things like this where like this part is going to be leather and this part of the boot is also leather, ideally you would shade them in flats two different colors. And that's why it's almost better that they choose random ass colors, because at least then you can select it. If I made this fluorescent yellow, for instance, it would be way more helpful for me in coloring it than if I made it leather as it's supposed to be. Yeah, I'm sure I'm doing it wrong, but it, you know, for the sake of this project, and meeting my deadline today, I'm flatting it myself. Yes, it's called flatting. That's right, Ashley. All right, so I still need to draw the little dagger in her pants right there. And I need to flat her buttons. So let's get those in. So I'm using the pencil tool. So it doesn't have any aliasing. That means no smoothing of the lines. And then in the end, I'm going to come in and put some kind of embroidery around all the buttonholes, but I'm not going to do that yet. And I want some big gold beads in here, and then I'll put some blue and some red ones so that they kind of all match. I'm going to stick to not that many colors in her hair pieces and in the piece in general. Now let's get a nice red hair color. Don't know if this is right. Oh. I can adjust the hair tone after, but I'm just getting something in here for now. All right, and I like this rusted orange color, so I'm going to use that for the bead right here. And I'll do a few more beads with the rusted orange. And then a couple blue beads. Hey, Voxel! Thank you so much for your email. It was great. I'll definitely be responding to it soon, but thank you so much. I really appreciated everything. All right, so that may be too colorful in her hair. I'll have to see, but for now it's fine. I can adjust the colors later as long as I have the basics in. And I'm making her hair a little bit more auburn as opposed to that like carrot top red. Oh, thank you, David. Long time no see. I'm glad you could make it to the stream today. Kara, hello. Now, some of these parts that I've actually colored in the hat, it might not actually stay completely the way that it is. Okay, hopefully this will fill. Hello, Comic Force, and hello everyone at the Comic Force store. Today I'm working on well, thank you so much for streaming me at the store, Comic Force. You're awesome. And just so everybody knows, I'm working on a playing card for a new card game that's going to be hitting Kickstarter this month, and it's called Fight Your Friends. And It's being done by Cold War Inc. And I am working on my card right now. And the character that I was assigned is Anne Bonny. So I'm just working on getting her drawn in and doing the final colors. And then it's off to be added to the deck. Hey, Sheldon. Yeah, Sheldon, I'm going to be taking care of and focusing on the print run probably on Monday. I just need to wrap up my deadline first, but I did get your email and thank you for all that. Shane, hello. All right, so all I need to do now is draw in the top of the little dagger in there, and I'm gonna flat in the color of her sword, and then we're ready to start coloring. Woo! And here, I just want it to be a darker gold, so I'm just gonna adjust that color a little bit darker. All right, and okay, let's do the hilt of her little dagger in there. So I'm changing to my brush tool, and this is a softer brush. Oh, thank you so much, Zombie Folly. Yay! Woohoo! All right, so right now I'm gonna do my sketch. Let's just turn the opacity down so it's clearly a sketch line. And it needs to follow the basic lines of the perspective. So the hilt and the handle wouldn't be coming out of the side here. It would be what I perceive to be the center of this little dagger thing that she's got. Let's give it a little bit of a top. It might not need to be this big, but for now, I'm just gonna get it right about here. Okay. Hey Zombie, I have a question for you. I meant to write you earlier today, but I hope you don't mind me asking you here. I wasn't sure if you would be available today, so I didn't want to bug you on the weekend. But if you are, is there any chance I might be able to get a copy of a blank card so I can set her inside and make sure she fits? I mean, it's a little too late to completely change her, and I did swipe a card from online to make sure that the layout fit. But if there's any chance I can do that, that would be amazing. Thank you. And also, I want to put like an outline color around her, kind of, you know how a sticker is? I saw that a few other people on their cards did that. So I want to pick one that helps match her to the card. And of course, you guys can move her around however you decide to in the end. I'm not trying to like tell you what to do, but it would be great if I could have a little bit of something I can test it with. Okay, so that's way too tiny. It's like the size of a pencil. So let's enlarge that a little bit. To right about there. Let's see if her hand would now be able to hold that. A little bit bigger still. There we go. That works. Now it's at a size that she could actually grasp. All right, so that's the rough sketch. Now I'm going to lighten up the layer, throw away my original sketch, and I'll add this into the line art. So I'm going to my inks layer. So 12, let's get it down to a 9 just to start. So I've got, the brush is set to 9 pixels. And again, you guys, I am working on a 600 DPI file. I wouldn't always recommend going quite this big. It's, for any of you who were on my stream last time, I explained that my scanner either scans at 300 DPI or 600. For me, the sweet spot is 400 DPI. So it's big enough that if it needs to get put on a banner or something like that, it's not going to look all pixelated and funky, which can happen at a 300 DPI. Technically, 300 is print size, but a lot of pieces end up getting made a lot bigger to be put on, again, display banners for shows and stuff like that. So I usually do 400. Your computer can still work with it. It's not going to get so big that your computer chugs, but then it's a little higher quality. However, because my scanner always does 600 DPI, sometimes I forget to change it until it's too late. Because like if you go to downsize everything, like my flat layer is going to become all pixelated and blurry, and that I can't have. So I'm working at 600 now. Yes, I'm drawing on a Cintiq 22 HD. I didn't get the Cintiq touch version where you can enlarge and everything by the touch of your fingers, because I have that on the iPad and sometimes it bugs me. So, you know, it's supposed to have all this like smart stuff where it ignores the palm of your hand when you're resting on it to work, and it only reacts to your fingerprint, the tips of your fingers. It glitches sometimes, and that shit drives me nuts. So I decided to not spend the extra to get a touch. So there's the 22 HD plain, which is what I got, or there's the 22 touch. I didn't want that, so I didn't get it. Sheldon, I think so, because I have Photoshop CC, so it's just on the subscription basis, so I think that, yeah, it just updates. Hi, Mark. Yeah, it's weird. I think when I'm using my computer, it does kind of glitch on Twitch a little bit, and it does flash screen sometimes. Sorry about that, you guys. I don't really know what to do. I don't know if it's the DPI that would do that. Okay, so yes, I have the latest version of Photoshop, according to Sheldon. Thank you. I used to, up until about a year ago, I think it was, or maybe not even, I was using like a Photoshop CS5. And it worked fine. There was nothing wrong with it. The thing that I like is some of the small upgrades, but again, every version of Photoshop is awesome sauce, in my opinion. So it really wasn't bothering me that I had the older version, but I upgraded to the subscription so that I could have, you know, the rotating thing. I don't think that Photoshop CS had this and stuff like that. That's really handy. No, you didn't miss anything exciting, Kara. I really love that rotate canvas thing. It's so awesome. Thank you, David. I really try to tone down my aggressive potty mouth, but every so often it slips out. I apologize for anyone that offends. Sherlock is English. That's right. He's very proper, though. Oops. Never apologize. Thanks, you guys. You rock. So I'm trying to make a decent amount of the stuff that she has a little bit more decorative. I'm figuring that a pirate could never afford this kind of stuff, but they sure shit can steal it. And in my opinion, that's what she's done. So most of these are going to be like some sort of family heirloom thing that she stole from somebody. I need to stop hitting the type tool. Yeah, Cintiqs are really, really expensive. Oh my god. It took me like... I've been drawing, not professionally, but just drawing for like 20 years, and I've wanted a Cintiq the entire time. I just couldn't justify it until like a year and a half ago. So I hear you on that. Hey, Keeman. Alright, now let's do the flats for her sword and for that little dagger dealio. I'm doing great. Thank you so much, Keeman. I hope you're doing good as well. So I'm really excited because once this deadline is sent off, I'm going to watch, what's it called? Black Swan with my two teenagers. So that's going to be really, really fun. I couldn't, we had planned to do it last weekend, but then I kind of couldn't afford to work-wise. So we rescheduled to this weekend, and I'm really looking forward to it. Oh, good. I'm glad, Keeman. Yeah, it really is crazy. I've seen it before, and my eldest has seen it, but our 14-year-old daughter hasn't. So I'm not sure if Dan's gonna watch with us. He may or he may not, but either way, it's gonna be fun. Not your type of film. Fair enough. I think, as I've told you guys before, my eldest collects DVDs, and he has like the extended DVD version of this one, so there's all this making of and stuff, which I love. Those are like my favorite parts of movies, is to see all the making of the movie. So I am very excited. Yeah. True story, Craig. Now I'm going to make this look like a stone or a jewel up at the top, but I don't want to add too many colors into this, so I'm sticking to the scheme that I have, which is brown, gold, and this rust color, along with the blue of her suit. Now I'm just going around seeing if there's any spots I missed. And here, I'm going to clean up my lines a little bit. All right, let's flat the sword. Oh, does it, Bruce? Oh no. And I'm going to clean up my lines a little bit here too. Thanks, Keeman. Gotta rewatch the Marvel movies. Yes, I agree. I need to do the same. Oh, and you know what? For fun, I watched The Emperor's New Groove yesterday while I was working on this. And it's so awesome. Okay, so the flats are done. Just gonna save. All right, so the saving is finished. Yeah, it's so much fun, Kara. Now what I'm thinking with this one is I'm gonna have, so let's just get a layer so I can show you. I'm gonna have the light source coming from this direction, okay? But then I'm gonna pretend that there's an explosion that she's looking at and running to. So let's write boom. There's an explosion that she's running to over here. So on the side of her is gonna be a strong orange kind of explosion rim light. And then the normal light source is gonna be coming from the left. So I've kind of had that in mind while I've been working on setting up the file and doing the inking. So there's gonna be a strong orange rim light, and then the highlights are gonna be on this side. You missed the mustache. Here it is. It's still there. I just turned off the layer. Okay, so I'm gonna leave those on there so you guys know. Let's do light source is coming from there, and then there. Oh man, I need to go watch that, Arrow. Thank you so much for the heads up. I'm gonna go catch that for sure. Yes, like a cannon flash, exactly. Hey, Jeff. All right, so I've got the flats layer. What I'm gonna do with it now is I'm gonna lock it. That means I won't accidentally be coloring on that layer. I don't wanna mess up my flats. But I'm gonna duplicate it, and I'm gonna unlock that layer, and I'm gonna call it colors. Okay, so I'm gonna use this to do selections. So I'm selecting her skin tone now. And I think this is the only spot we actually see her skin. Yes, it is. So her skin I might shade a little bit more, but again, I need to keep it with some good strong highlights. All right, and see, I'm on the flats layer, so what it's doing is it's giving me a you can't pass. You shall not pass. I can't color on that layer, and that's why I locked it, so I don't accidentally color on the flats and destroy the purpose of what they're there for. All right, so in brushes, I'm going to the soft, round, pressure, opacity, and flow. So that's what I use for my digital colors when I'm setting up and starting out all the shading. And I'm taking the opacity and the flow down to like the 50s and 60s. Oh, Zombie Folly, thank you so much. I just got the file. You're amazing. So then we can do a little test run in here, which is great. All right, so I'm gonna select the color that I have for her skin, and then I'm gonna go lighter for highlights. So for starters, I'm gonna put in some basic highlights. I'm turning up the opacity. Now I'm going to put in some rough shadows. And this is all extremely rough right now, you guys. That's too brown. Too dark. I'm going to pull it over a little bit more to the reds. No, I don't like that line. Technically that would be correct, but I don't like it, so I'm not going to have it. So those are the shadows cast from her necklace. Though I put them in the wrong spot, so I'll fix that up in a minute. Having really sharp, harsh shadow lines in a few places really helps on pieces like this to make it look like there's a bright light source coming from somewhere. I don't know who that is, Craig. I'm gonna need to take a look. So now I made it like a little bit more of a desaturated brown color to get in some of the more darker shadows. All right, now I'm softening up some of this stuff here because I'm going to put a brighter highlight. Okay, I'm just looking up Becky Lynch. Oh, wow, yeah, it's true. That's great. So I'm turning off the sharper brush or not, like where it does the pen size is also handled by pressure. So it's a little button up here that I keep turning on and off. And that's if I want the brush to just be a big, fat, smooth airbrush, or if I want it to actually be able to go to a point. So I keep turning that off and on. Thank you, Pat. That's so nice of you. Okay, so now I have that turned off, and I'm just going to put a little bit of a highlight right here. And right here. So I've got some extreme highlights on another layer. Oh, hey, Jack the Avenger. I'm working on her face right now, so I don't have the mustache on, but it's still there. And I'm going to make another layer for rim lights. Oops. Let's get a really good, strong rim light going on. Let's see if this is a good color. It is, but I don't like the soft brush, so I'm going to go to something a little bit harder. Something like that. So you could, it looks like there's something over there that she's rushing toward that is a little bit more of a explosion or something. And the thing that's nice about it is having the light source on the left, and then so everything on the right is going to be going into shadow, but then boom, there is an explosion over there. So then there's a strong rim light hitting that side, and because that side is in shadow, it's going to pop a lot more. Now I'm going to go back to the highlight layer and just put a little bit of highlight on her nose. I don't like that though. And I always put the lips on their own layer. And it's just a weird tick I have where I just prefer the lips to be a little softer. So I'm just painting these in. Now I'm going to put a highlight color. There we go. No, I just haven't painted in her hair yet, Pat. All right, now before we get too far, I'm gonna go ahead and do color holds on the lines. So wait, I'm not gonna do that yet. I still have all this stuff selected. But pretty soon I'm gonna show you color holds. Put a little bit of the rim light color on her lips too, so it has that explosion that's going on, happening on her lips too. And I need to get now these highlights that I've got over here into her chest. I was gonna put the highlights in now, but I need to get the rest of the shaded highlights going on first. It's the nice thing is a lot of this stuff you can use in the in traditional as well. It's really just the tool that I'm using to apply this stuff that's different. All right, and I want to give her some makeup. Let's get some dark brown going on. And technically a nostril is way more in shadow, so I'm putting more shadow on that part. I'm gonna just do a quick save here. The last thing I need is for my computer to crash and nothing saved. Though the new Photoshop is pretty good about that. It'll like save your thing. If the computer crashes, it'll like resurrect wherever you were at, which is amazing. Okay, now I'm going to a slightly harder brush to get in some of the highlights that I want. And now I want to do some more shadows. And I'm going to get a more desaturated brown for the shadowy areas. Right there. Under her chin. And looks like I need to erase some of the highlights because it's showing up under her chin. I'm just erasing that. I'm going to merge the highlights and the colors because I got a few things mixed up together. So the highlights are going to be on the color layer, and then just the rim light for now is going to be over there. So I want to soften some of the highlight points. I have layers set to multiply right now. I don't think so, but yes, if you every layer property changes the way the colors are handled. So yes, it does matter what you're doing at that time, how you want the layer set up. Sometime when you're in Photoshop, just mess around with it and try all the different layer properties. It's pretty exciting and surprising, some of the ones that it does and the ways it can change your work. Hello, Juan. The mustache will be back soon, you guys. I just can't have it right now because it's in my way. I'm trying to get her coloring done. Hey, Travis. Okay, so it looks like I got a little bit confused with you and Voxel Vision the other day. Voxel informed me. So I want to go follow you real quick. Travis Starling. Here we go. So I'm just going to go follow you. There we go. So now you're being followed. Hey, Adam. Okay. So now I'm gonna keep working on her and her coloring. So I'm happy with the way that it's turning out though, where it implies that there's something that she's running to that is a yellow, strong yellow light, which implies then that it's probably some kind of explosion considering what she's holding and how her face is, so it'll really help. That's great, Travis. Okay. So I'm happy with all that. Now I just need to re-put in the shadow that I had from her earring, because her earring would be casting a bit of a shadow. For now, I'm just going to get rid of most of it and put that in again. I want to make this pretty strong. So I'm getting a harder brush now, and I'm going to make a shadow from the earring. Whoa, that's too hard. I'm changing to the softer brush to soften out the edges a touch. There we go. Now I can take the opacity of that down a little bit so it's not quite so harsh. And there we have it. Okay, and this layer 4 is the shadows, and I'm going to do the same kind of shadow from this necklace that's flinging upward, meaning that in order to give that clear indication that it's not resting on her chest, but it's coming up because she's sort of jumped or something, I need the shadows to actually be quite a bit further away from her chest, and as such, I'd move them over to the side more. Now the light source is coming kind of like this at the piece. So these parts in shadow would be a little bit more towards the side. And I'll show you guys what I mean. Like that. And then over here, the same thing. So that it doesn't look like it's sitting on her chest. It's coming off of her chest. And then in this spot, right back here, I'm gonna make it even darker. There's some places on your body when you're like in bright light and stuff like that where the shadows are almost black. So I'm making the shadows quite dark right here where her collar would be covering up a lot of the light that would be reaching her neck. Oh, I'm glad you like the coin, Jessamine. Yay. Okay, so I believe her skin is finished. Now I want to work on her tongue and her teeth and her eyes. Now I'm not going to make anything lighter on her tongue. I'm just going to give it a little bit of shadow. A little bit of color for her gums and just those little spots. I don't know if I'm going to put that highlight light. It didn't look good. Alright, so now I'm selecting her eyes. And firstly, I'm going to make there'd be some shadows coming from her lashes. And then some white from the light that's coming to the side. And then I think for her, I'm going to give her green eyes. Hey, Tom! Nice to see you! Thank you so much, Chicago. I hope all is going well. Is it super late in Germany right now? Are you still in Germany? Oh, hey, Gravelette. How are you? All right, now above the ink lines, I'm gonna make the highlight lines for the eyes. And there would be a little bit of rim light from whatever she's seeing over there. And then a couple white highlights from the light source from over here. And then I'm gonna make the rest of the color in here really dark green to imply the black part. Is it too late to make the one-eyed Willy? I could definitely give him a patch. That's actually probably something I should do. All right, so I think because her eyes are more glossy, they would pick up a lot of the orange rim light that's happening. So I've got those on both eyes. Okay, and now time to save. All right, now let's work on the necklaces and jewelry, and then we'll start moving on to the rest of the piece. What's layer 4? Oh, okay, shadows. And layer 5 is... And then I'm going to show everyone right now how to do... Hi, Louie! I'm going to show everyone how to do color holds, okay? So I have the inks line right here. I just created a brand new layer. You can see it. It's called layer 4. And that's going to be the color holds. Now I group the layer to the next one. So I lock it to the inks layer. And I do that by Control-Alt-G. All right, Control-Alt-G groups it to the layer below. So I can scribble. Let's take a bright green so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And I can scribble all over in the white, but because there's nothing on the inks layer, nothing is happening. It's not showing up at all because I'm on the color hold layer. But watch what happens when I go over anywhere where there is something on the line art, because it's only grouping to what is on the layer below. Watch this. Oh wait. I had that selected. It's coloring all the black lines fluorescent green. Do you see that? And so that's how you do color holds. It's grouped to the layer below it. So you can see the little group arrow that's pointing down at the inks layer. That's how I do color holds. So let's just undo all that crazy and do actual colors for her skin. So what I do is I choose a mid-tone or a shadow of the skin, and then I just make it quite a bit darker, and I fill the lines. I basically just go and color over everything. And now the lines are no longer black, they're the color that I've chosen. So in this case, I'm going with a dark brown. Then in some places you might have to go a little bit darker. Like right here, I'm gonna go pretty dark because it's all in shadow. But that is how you do color holds, and it's amazing for making line art not have such a harsh dark line. And you know, when you've got something that's say gold and it's glowing, it really harshes the vibe when you've got these black lines in your way. So you can make the black lines like a dark orange and all of a sudden it looks like glowy gold, you know? So that's why I like color holds so much. So I leave the eyes dark, but when the character has lighter hair, I do color hold the eyebrows. They're still pretty dark, so in this case they're like a dark brown, but it really, in my opinion, helps to make it look a little bit more realistic than having really dark black eyebrows when your hair is auburn like hers. All right, and I'm gonna do the same on her lips. I'm just gonna make them a really deep red for the outlines. And anywhere where it's in shadow, it's a pretty dark red. You can barely even tell the difference between the black and the red. But then where it's in highlight, I would make it a lighter tone. So the exterior lines are in highlight, and as such, I would make them lighter, like that. There we go. Now let's do the gold ones. Okay, I'm just doing all the gold color holds right now, at least for the stuff around her face. I'm kind of focusing on upper body right now, and then I'll go down and do her lower body once her hair is finished and stuff like that, I think. My plan for the time being. Does anybody have any good comedian recommendations for me? I find that I really love watching comedy shows, like comedian stand-up stuff, while I'm working. It's so much fun because I don't have to watch it. I can just listen and laugh the whole time. And that's what I'm looking for. So if anybody has any recommendations, definitely let me know. Oh, thanks for the host, Louie. Okay. Okay, I just watched Fluffy on Netflix yesterday, and he was fun. Let me see. I'm going to get a piece of paper to write some more down. Oh my god, my job is an artist, and I don't have any paper. Well, I have tons of paper, but not paper I want to use. Okay, I'll use this. All right, so I'm going to write them down. Jerky Boys. Boys. Andrew Dice. Tim Allen. Raymond Orta. Thanks, guys. All right. Thank you. I love Eliza 100%. I just don't think that she has a ton on there. So I've seen all of hers a few times, truth be told. Alright, so now I'm going to start doing her hair, the colors of her hair. So I am selecting everywhere that there's not color so that I don't accidentally color over something. And I'm going to take down the opacity of the white layer so that I can see my sketches underneath, and I'm going to start painting in her hair. Oh, Dana Carvey. Carvey, Dice Man. Oh, hey, Philip. I'm so sorry I missed your comments. Hi. Happy Saturday. Okay, I'm sorry. I did. Oh, I'm feeling just fine, Philip. I just, the day got away from me. There was too much going on. I couldn't make it. So I kept pushing back the stream, being like, okay, I can't make it now. I'll try to make it at 8 p.m. And by then I was just too tired. So I decided to catch up today, which is great because then you guys get to see coloring and stuff as opposed to flatting and inking and finishing up the colors. So also, I figured today's would be a more fun stream. Today is my deadline for this one, so I'm hoping to finish it up on stream if possible. So yeah, it wasn't because I wasn't feeling well. I just didn't get the time yesterday. See you later, Craig. Thank you so much for hanging out for a while and have a great weekend. Yes, there's going to be dots all over the place, you guys, because when I do something on a separate, when I bring up my brush change tool, which for some reason doesn't show up for you guys, I have to click off it. And in order to click off of it, there's going to be dots all over. I'll clean them up at the end. Yeah, thank you, Philip. You're such a sweetheart. Okay, I need to erase some stuff that I've decided to change. Oops, wrong eraser. I'm still in the process of making that transition, Louie, but for actual published work, generally, Copic markers are just not as good at printing as digital colors can. So it was pretty much my work was always colored. It's just when I decided to do it myself was in the summer of 2017. All right, so now I have her hair color selected, and I'm going to start painting in there. I'll be putting in some darker lines as I'm working on it, but for now, like, you know, actual pen style lines, for now I'm just getting the basic tones down of where I want highlight and where I think it should be in pretty dark shadow, which down here underneath her, where it's all going into the back of her head, I feel like it should be in quite deep shadow. And here as well. Right, now I'm doing an even darker shadow here. And what will be fun about such a dark shadow is then I'm going to have the gold catching the light, and so it'll really shine against the dark shadow of her hair. And guys, just so you know, because I have gotten a few suggestions from people of what to do with the background, there is no background. Think of her as a floating sticker on a card, a playing card. So I'm not gonna, all the stuff that's all around is gonna be deleted, and it's just gonna be her on a playing card. So there might be like an outline color, like think like how a sticker has. Usually there's like the character or whatever, and then there's a bit of a bumper. I'll have that, but nothing else. You see a sword, a scabbard, and then a little dagger. Oh, I see. Yes, it's because I've got my sketch lines visible so that I could see what I wanted to do with her hair. But there, I turned it off so it's not confusing. Hey, Chicken Heed. All right, now highlight time in her hair. Whoops, wrong layer. There's the mustache. Sorry, everybody. I needed to move it out of the way for a sec so I could color her face. It's back. I'm glad the mustache is so very popular. Thank you, Louie. True story, you guys. That's great. Alright, I'm taking down the opacity a little bit to just smooth out some of these areas. Get her hair a nice little highlight. Hi, Sloppy Octopus. So even though I'm using a soft brush right now, I've taken the opacity up. I mean the hardness up really high and the opacity up pretty high too. Oh, that's funny, Chicken Heat. So I'm using the rim light color now to get some highlights going on in her hair. Okay, see you later, Louie. Thank you so much for stopping by. All right, so now I'm gonna try something, and I'm gonna do color dodge on the brush to just soften up and brighten up some of her hair to give her some nice highlights. So I've got an orange chosen, and I'm doing some color dodge. And a little bit of yellow. All right, saving that up. I need to do some line holds, like line art color holds on her hair now. So I'm just choosing a much harder brush because I'm just doing the lines. So I'm just getting in there. Thank you, Philip. All right, so I'm gonna give her hair a little bit of a rest now, and I'm gonna work on her hat. And taking the opacity and flow down a little bit. Because first up, it's get the highlights in. Sorry, Adam. Wow, Zombie Folly, that's crazy. Okay, I'm going to set the hardness a little bit higher now so that it's a stronger brush. Okay, I'm taking the hardness back down and getting the size a little bit bigger to just get a softer side shadow. Because then I'm going to come in and do that bright rim light again. And then there would be a pretty hard shadow coming from the sword. I'm taking the hardness up a little bit more, taking up the opacity. I guess I'm gonna have to think about that. Oh man, I hope so, Philip. I wrote the printers and asked for an update, and I haven't gotten said update yet. But I hope so. It should be the plan, and according to them, it's doable, is that the book is going to be ready by Emerald City, so by March. I may not have all of them for the website yet. So, you know, it's going to be somewhere March, April is the plan. So far, we are on target, but we'll have to see. I don't really know. Thank you, Keeman. All right, and now I'm going to do rim lights with a harder brush. And then I'm going to set the opacity really high. So this is the lights that are coming from the kaboom on the side. Is that really the color? There we go, something like that. Yeah, I'll turn on the layer so you guys know what it is. So the light source, the general ambient light, whatever is happening, is coming from the left-hand side. And then whatever kaboom she's running towards is off the page on the right. Our right, like this. All right, so that part of the leather is done, and since I have all those colors worked out, that's gonna help me with all the leather on the rest of her suit. So it's really nice to have those things worked out in advance. Yay. So those are all done. I can go ahead and erase some of these dots if they're driving everybody crazy. All right, and this is where we're at right now. Let's straighten out the image. This is what's finished so far. And so far, so good. I am extremely picky and critical of my work, but this is actually coming out nice. I'm liking the sharper color lines. You know, I'm not blending it as smooshy as I usually do. So far, it's looking good, I think. And so let's do the coin now and the gold stuff, since that's all close up and right here in this particular area. And I'm kind of trying to work from top to bottom. So at least if I don't stream, because I'm going to stream until like 4:30 my time, so like another 45 minutes. Or longer, I guess it depends. Then you'll at least see the top part done, you know? And if you don't catch me coloring a knee, well, you know, it's not the end of the world. Thank you so much, Hope. And thanks, Zombie Folly. I'm so happy you like it. All right, so let's get the coin done and work out some of the gold tone colors. The knee is your favorite part. I'm sorry, Kara. Justin, hi! Welcome to the stream today. All right, now I'm setting my thing to color dodge my brush, and I'm gonna put some highlights in. And then I'm gonna do a layer that's set to screen mode, and I'm gonna do, I think maybe I'll stick with color dodge here, and I'm gonna turn off I'm not gonna have it selected anymore. Well, actually maybe I will, just so that it's not going off the screen. And this is gonna make a nice shine, but the shine is not only gonna cover over the colors, it's gonna affect the line art too. And it helps with, you know, giving it a uniformity, like that. So then it looks a lot more like a coin. And then I'm gonna go and do the rim light. Need to make sure I'm set to normal again. And I'm setting the opacity at 100. And I think that this coin would have the same rim light as the rest of the pieces got. All right, so now let's do the jewelry stuff that she's got. And all the beads. And might as well do the buttons. So I'm going to do all that in one shot and then move on to the rest. Actually, you know what? There's so little gold stuff, I'm going to do all the gold now. It's much easier to just get it all done, especially because they're all small elements. Whoops. All right, quick save. All right. First thing I'm going to do is get a dark shadow tone. Make sure it's set to normal, and I'm using a smooth brush. Now the best thing about gold is high contrast is what makes it look like gold. So it's actually pretty easy because you just want it to have strong contrast. That's really all you need to care about when it comes to gold. There's a lot of different types of gold color. So even the coloring, you don't like what tone you give it, you know, is really up to your own personal preference. But you don't have to really do a lot of complicated shading. You really want it to actually be quite harsh. You want it to be pretty high contrast because that's what gives it that appearance of metal. Kylie, hello, good afternoon, and Gabriel is here, and Justin. This is so great. Thank you all so much for stopping by. So right now I'm working on the gold shading. And right now it's going to look very simple and basic, but I think once the highlights are put in, then it usually starts to come together and look a little better. Oh, the stash still lives. I'll just turn it back on. It was getting in my way for a minute there. So I have to keep turning it off and on, since I really don't expect it to live. It is a glorious mustache. All right, I have to turn it off so I can see the earrings. So just bear with me for a second, everyone. Hello, Woofer Boofer. How's it going? All right, her stash can come back for a second. Oh, thank you so much, Gabriel. You're in a big Borky mood. All right, so the nice thing about metal is you can really, as long as you just try to have some good, strong, confident lines, you don't have to spend forever on it. You can actually go pretty fast. Of course, in the end, you may see that some things need refining, which I'm sure I will here. It doesn't have to take forever. Thank you, Woofer Boofer. Bye. All right, so the lines are still black down here, which definitely hurts gold and the look of gold. It really just doesn't look good until its lines are color held. So we'll get to that shortly. So when I'm putting glow on gold, I tend to go on a screen layer and set it to the brush to color dodge. Right, now I'm going to go really light because I want it to start going to white. Me no like it. Oh, thank you so much, Sheldon. Hello, Mr. E. How's it going? All right, so now I'm gonna do the color holds because I have a hard time with gold if it's not properly color held, which means that the lines are not black. I don't care for them being black when it comes to gold. coming out kind of light? Oh, it's because I did some lighter stuff in the layers above. Okay. So I've darkened up the color for the gold on this belt, but it needs to show up a little bit better. The main thing, in my opinion, is that black lines for gold stuff just doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't really suit gold very nicely, in my opinion. You just got off from work? Oh, okay. I'm sorry that you missed it, but you didn't miss a ton, I don't think. I mean, I'm just working on the coloring. Yeah, I agree, Gabriel. Well put. You just woke up. I know, Kylie, I'm so sorry. I had every intention of streaming last night and I was just too freaking tired. Would have been like, welcome to the Deadbeat Dawn show. I'm darkening the lines up a little bit and making them more red. I think that it's going to stand out a little better. Like that. You'd pay to watch that? Definitely that is not the case, Kylie. I am so sorry, love. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. E. Darkening up the skull lines a little bit. He was getting a little too covered. I went a little bit too light on that. All right, saving it up. Oh, I remember we had a whole discussion about the like biscuits and crumpets and muffins and all the different types. It was fascinating. Are you guys doing that conversation again pretty much? Yeah, I'm hungry too. I want something yummy. But I can't have anything yummy. I love English muffins. They are the best. Now, they are the American/Canadian English muffin, which I don't know if that's even correct. I guess Craig is gonna set us straight. Nice, Shane. This is me. You'll have to stock up on cookies for me. Aw, that is so awesome of you, Sheldon. I'm 2 weeks in on no sugar and no carbs. So this is a very, very painful conversation to be a part of. Yep, Dan said no feeding the dog. It's actually not been nearly as difficult as I was expecting it to be. And you guys know from all of our conversations that I am a hardcore carb and sugar lover. Like, it's intense. So for me, yes, it's been a challenge, but I have my like list of 10 acceptable foods, I think it is. Something very small. But the real key, I guess, is to just not get too hungry. And it's really hard, at least for me, to like overeat on boiled eggs, for instance, or overeat on a protein shake. Like, you're just sick of it after you're done. So it does really help as far as that. So technically I can eat as much as I want. I'm just really not interested in that. It's so much easier to like sit down with a freaking loaf of fresh bread and devour the entire thing than it is to take like a giant bowl of boiled eggs and make it through that. I know, the peanut butter hot chocolate I haven't had in a long time. So for now I'm doing the cut shadows, like the harsher lines that we would have from her suit and the way that she's running and stuff. There would be shadows from those things, and that's what I'm sort of working on now. And I almost think that this blue that I'm working with is not going to look good with a highlight color, so I'm kind of going to make this blue the base blue. I don't know that I'm going to go a ton lighter with it. Oh wow, Kylie, I support you. That sounds so hard. And if you need to like vent but need some sympathy, I'm here for you. Oh, I'm sure, Kara. It's where I'm at. Thank you, Philip. And that's awesome, Kylie. I'm so glad it's done by someone that can actually understand. Sniper Gamer, I am using Photoshop CC. Oh, and I can put on the stash again. There we go. Yeah, thank you, Kylie. You're always there to like catch the questions if I miss them. And sorry that I missed it, Sniper Gamer. And welcome to this stream. That is so cool, Zombie Folly. I wish you all the very best with it. And you know, it's all about practice, like we were talking about last time. Are you still thinking to do coloring, Kara? Thank you, Kylie! Yay! You know what? I have never drawn any nude anything from live models, from anything. I never have. I think I would be so immature and just kind of sit there so uncomfortable. And I'm sure you get used to it. Like, just someone's just literally standing there butt naked. Like, I understand that, like, it's maybe kind of like a rite of passage of being an artist that you go to these live art things. I've never done one. And I think I would just be like so uncomfortable. Oh my god, see Craig, I could not handle that. Alright, let's try the rim light and see how this looks. I'm not sure how the rim light is gonna look on blue. So I might have to make some adjustments to the blue if it looks really gnarly. Yeah, I'm happy with it. I think it looks fine. I have no problem. I'm not really sure how much we would see in these spots because, like, kind of, it's all being covered up by the stuff that she has here. But then there's not really much other blue that would be seen. And any further down, I think I will probably kind of not have as much of this rim light shit going on. Just widening out a teeny bit. I guess it would actually show up a bit on the on these ones here. Not a ton, but a little bit. I don't know, actually, that doesn't look very good. Maybe I can do like a screen layer towards the end and get that in. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Absolute. I really appreciate that. All right, I might need to put some highlight stuff into this part, just for how bright and a light is hitting there. I don't know if I can get away with quite this lack of saturation on the blue, or this lack of highlights. But what I did, and the reason why saturation was stuck in my head, is because I desaturated the blue as I went lighter. Because I don't want this to be like some super bright sunshine blue. It just won't work here. So I'm making it like a very gray blue is what's the highlight color. What does Dan already do? Mikey. Oh, yeah. I turned it off for a second. I needed to color right here. Oh, see you later, Zombie Folly. Oh, and bye, Sheldon. Thank you so much for hanging out for a while. I really appreciate it. You and me both, Kara. Okay, the blue up there is good. Now I'm just going to bring a little bit more. I'm sorry it keeps flashing green, you guys. I don't know what is happening. I'm bringing in a little bit more blue down here. But I'm not going to make the highlights and shadows quite as contrasted as we go down, because I think then it kind of distracts and pulls the eye. You know, like when someone's looking at it, where are they supposed to pick to look? So a lot more of the shadows and details are going to be up there, and then it's just going to start getting like less saturation, less contrast as it goes down on the piece. All right, back to some more leather. All right, I think that I'm gonna get all the leather done in one shot. And what makes it easy to accomplish that goal is that I've already colored her hat and I'm happy with the colors there, so I can just color pick it and mooch off of myself from an hour or two ago. Oh dear God, you guys are making it so very difficult for me to not just want to go eat everything in the pantry downstairs. Painful. The shoulder part of her vest right there. I don't think she would because there's this big bump of cloth right there. So it would actually be covering whatever the rim light is. But maybe I'll go in and put it in. I just figured it would cover it. I have celery downstairs, tons of it. No worries, Kylie. Kara, you get the knee. We're doing the knee. Whoops. I went off of Photoshop for a second there. Yeah, I decided to go a little bit later. I'm gonna go till 5 my time. Oh, I hate liver. Hate it so much. I did notice that you guys have switched to talking about healthier foods, though, which is so sweet of you. Oh, 100% Kylie, have yourself an epic Last Supper. For sure. That is like an essential part of actually being able to do a proper diet. You're sorry in advance for one thing. For what? Oh, are you gonna say what it is that you're gonna eat? Yeah, I guess you could cover my eyes and ears. True. Oh, that does sound good. Except I don't like camembert. Like, at all. So you're fine. I'm not sad. I'm sure it's gonna be glorious. That sounds so good. I do love puff pastry, though. So much, I'm telling you. Do you just get the pot pies at the store, Kara? Okay, I've completely missed out on whatever is happening right now. I do not like candied apples. It's so weird. Why, like, cover it in something? And I see it all the time. People will just eat the caramel all around it and throw away the apple. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I want to get some sometimes because I love pot pies. Apple crumble cake, yes, 100%, Shane. Apple pie cupcakes. That sounds so good. I do buy those from the store sometimes in the freezer section. They have like these little like apple pies, but they're mini ones, like this big. They're so good. So guess what I'm having for my cheat today? Or no, it's tomorrow. I'm having 2 apples sliced, and I decided to do this. This was something I want to do because my dependence, it's not for weight loss, it's not for anything like that. It's my dependence on sugar and carbs is so intense that I don't eat very healthy. So I'm trying to change my mentality, and I feel that doing a I think it's going to be 5 weeks total of like a really hardcore do not touch anything with sugar or carbs in it. Now I'm aware that vegetables have carbs in them and all that stuff. So, but I'm just keeping it easy. I'm not eating anything with oats, flour, bread, you know, all the typical carb foods. And so I'm just trying to break my habits because they are strong and aggressive, and I love sugar. So anyway, long story short, what I'm doing is I'm not having any of that at all until March 3rd, I think. And then on March 3rd, on the weekends, I will be adding in some, like, having a cheat meal. So my cheat for right now is 2 apples sliced up, microwaved, with a little bit of, like, stevia, and I eat that. So I get that like once a week. Lol. Well, for now it is, Gabriel. Yes. I could have my like first sugar rush on stream and we'll see what happens. And I'll be like talking like 80 miles a minute. Oh, I love Pink Lady apples, Kylie. They're my favorite ones. I'm gonna have a real cheat, Gabriel, on March 3rd. Then I will be instituting real cheats, and believe me, I know how to do a serious refeed of carbs and sugar. I will have no problem. Or recarb, I can't remember what it's called. Oh yay! The Pink Lady fan club! Your mom is allergic to bananas. Wow. That is so interesting. Be careful it doesn't make me feel sick. Oh yeah, like the Rock's cheat meals, that's right. Yes, I'll be careful, Kylie, for sure. How are we doing on time? Well, I have 15 minutes left. And gosh, guys, I think it's when I move stuff around, like when I move my screen, it freaks out over there. And I'm really sorry about that. But we are almost done with all the rim lights and everything, which is awesome. Sorry, guys. Whoa, that is intense. Oh, thank you so much, Kylie. Yay. I'm so glad you're liking it. And I'll make it with the deadline today, I think. Shouldn't have any problems. All right, and then something I want to do, because see, this whole part in here is cutouts. And so I want to show some highlights from the cutouts on her hands, which I think is going to be fun. Thank you, Travis. Yay! Oh, I think that this one is just a historical character. Like, I don't know if she's in a comic. Otherwise, I would have definitely probably followed the comic book way that she is, the way that she was done in the comic book. Okay, so now I'm going to put the highlights on her shirt. And that might help a little bit, or the rim light. That might help a little bit as far as clarifying what I'm going to do with the top of her shoulder right there, because I'm unsure. Whoops, wrong color. Oh, did I get a new follow? Thank you so much, whoever followed me. I'm sorry I didn't see it. Miss McGonagall. Okay, I don't know who Captain Flint is. I'm gonna have to go look him up because that's awesome. I will. Thank you, Kylie. Much Googling. Okay, guys. I'm gonna just put the highlights in for her shirt, and then I'd like to raid someone with all of you. And I am so close to being finished with this piece, it's not gonna take me very long to wrap it up. So I'll wrap it up today, and then I'm sure the Fight Your Friends crew will share it at some point, or they'll tell me when I can. I'm not really sure how it's going to work as far as that goes, but it'll definitely be out for you guys to see soon. And then remember about the Kickstarter. It starts up at the end of this month. And for anyone who hasn't, definitely subscribe to my email list, because I have tons of information. I send around the art that I've completed. All of that stuff is handled in my email list, so I just want to put a little plug for that. And to anyone who's followed me today, thank you so much. Oh, that's awesome, Mr. E. Thank you. With and without the mustache. Yeah, we'll have to see what they do about that. If they're going to keep it or not. My guess is they're not, but maybe there'll be like a couple hidden mustache ones in something. I have no idea. Don't quote me on that. That has nothing to do with anything as far as decision making for this particular game, which I have no power over. Just making sure that's abundantly clear. Step 7. I don't know if you're still on the stream, but if you are, thank you so much for the follow. All right, So I'm just gonna do one thing really quickly. Granted, the suit isn't finished. I mean, her shirt isn't done, but I would like to just color hold some of the lines because it really bugs me when it's not color held. Oops. Now the back side of her arm I'm going to need to think about because it's hitting the orange rim light, so it might need to shift color a little tiny bit.
Yo, what's going on?
I'll think about that. Alright, so anyway, this is as far as we've gotten for today without the mustache. Her face is finished. I'm working on doing the shirt now and working on wrapping up her clothes, but the gold is finished, the leather is done, the hair is done. I think a lot got wrapped up today and I am so happy about it. And so tonight is my deadline for this one and I'll be able to get that done. So it's not going to take me much longer to be finished up. However, it's time for me to go. I need to go check in and see when we're going to be watching our movie. So it's been so great hanging out with you guys. Thank you so, so much. And let's see who we should raid. Does anyone have any suggestions? Oh, look, Keeman is on. Should we go raid Keeman? Let's go raid Keeman. Let's give him lots of love. No, thank you so much, Zombie Folly. I'll be sure to send it your way tonight. All right, let's do raid Keeman. All right, everyone, let's give Keeman lots of love. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you haven't already, subscribe to my email list. And remember, this game is Fight Your Friends, and you can find it online on Facebook and all around. All right, thank you all so much for joining me on the raid. Let's give Keeman lots of love. See you later. Bye.